In this video, I'm going to be reviewing this Fifine T669 microphone from the perspective of a live streamer and as a music producer. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this video is another one of those kind of techie, musicy, crossover videos, somewhere that sits in the middle. I've got a lot of gear that people have been asking me to review, and so I'm going to give you my opinions on those different pieces of gear. And this week I'm looking at the Fifine T669 microphone. I reviewed the previous Fifine K series microphone not that long ago, and so they reached out and asked me if I give them a review and my opinions on this mic too, and that's what I'm going to do. So this is a complete fresh unboxing. I haven't unboxed it yet. The mic costs £69.99 here in the UK, and it comes with tons of accessories. So many accessories that typically you'd probably think that you'd spend that much on just the accessories themselves without the microphone. So let's dive in. I'll get unboxing and let's see what this microphone can do for people that are both doing music as music producers and also doing the live streaming, YouTubing type stuff. So let's dive in. Here we have the box that it all comes in. Pretty simple looking box compared to the previous Fifine mic I reviewed, but it's about what's inside, right? So let's dive in and see what we've got. So this is the T669. So here we are. Here's what we get in the box. Another Fifine warranty card. That was in the last video as well. Got a user guide, which you probably won't use because it's all pretty simple stuff with this. So first thing, pop filter. Let's have a look at this. Obviously, I'm going to be super fussy about pop filters because I'm a musician, producer, do that kind of stuff all the time. It's a dual layer pop filter, I think. So pretty nice pop filter. It's not a hard pop filter layer. So typically when you get a dual layer one's hard and the other one's a soft meshy one, like you can see here. Here we just have the soft meshy stuff, nothing more. But it's a dual layer. So it's going to do a bit of a better job, and it'll be worth trying that out and seeing what a difference that makes. Solidly built. It's a lot nicer than a lot of dedicated pop filters that we've bought here at the studio in recent times. So props to the pop filter first off. Underneath the foam, wow, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Okay, chuck the foam away. Here goes. So the mic itself is tiny little microphone. Let me see if I can just grab a different mic to compare it to. So here we go. That's a Neumann U87, an original one from the 70s and 80s. That's the Fifine mic in comparison. And the first thing I'm noticing, the capture on this is a lot smaller, so your bass response is probably not going to be as full. It's going to be capturing much more top treble detail than something like a Neumann. This is like the industry standard of microphone, so this is a massive difference. This is a £3,000 mic versus this $69 mic, including all this other stuff. So, but just for reference, the difference in size, absolutely massive difference in size, and doesn't mean anything necessarily, but typically you'd expect it to have a little bit of a lesser bass response. So the mic itself, very simple. Just got a volume on the back of it, so the volume right there, and a typical mic clip. It's got a built-in, so it's built in with a pivot clip. So this is this type of clip that you just unscrew at the bottom here. Just unscrew, unscrew, unscrew. In the base of the microphone, you just have your USB port, and it's one of the kind of USB-B ports, I think, you know, the more traditional printer style USB port. Next, let's have a look in this bit. So that's just a tripod. So that little tripod that's supposed to come with it, there you go, just like that. Does a job, doesn't it? Pretty simple. Next we'll do the big stand. So this is a clamp, which is really useful if you are podcasting, you've got a regular YouTube setup, regular YouTube live stream setup. These things come in pretty handy. So currently the footage you're seeing from overhead is on a similar system to this, but you unscrew the clamp as speedily as possible. That then clamps into your desk. You tighten it up again, And then you pop in the arm, which has unfolded itself here. That goes in the top like so. Oh, you loosen this first, otherwise it doesn't fit. That drops in, and then you can pivot either way like this. You tighten it wherever you want it using a little thumb screw, and then here you go. Here is the arm, and you pop the microphone on the end. You can tighten it here in this position, and you can also tighten it here at the very end. The sad thing about this is this feels better than the one that I bought specifically for this task that is shooting this overhead footage. But that's great news for this because these aren't cheap. These cost about £15 on Amazon on their own. So feels well built. We'll try that out as well. Also, you've got the little microphone adapter screw on the end, which is ideal. Last couple of bits and pieces in this set. We've got the USB cable. Again, Fifine are really good with these USB cables. I do really like the job they do. They always have this little bit of Velcro on them, which just makes it feel a little bit more premium than you'd expect for something of this price. And they've always got branded ends, so they are Fifine cables. Next, we have just a big, nice cradled adapter. So this is going to take out any vibrations. It's got these bits of string, as you can see, and that's going to just allow the mic to sit and rest and prevent any vibrations going through your desk into the microphone, which is something that I struggle with this overhead camera. If you nudge the desk, sometimes you get a little bit of judder. So it's cool to see that as well. Last thing, just backup accessories. Extra bits of, well, bits to replace those bits that would go wrong in the accessory you've been given, which is really good value. I'm really shocked that they can even afford to include extra bits like that. But, well played. Great job, Fifine. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's just to go over the top of your microphone as well. If you haven't got a pop filter, I wouldn't suggest you use both, this and a pop filter, because you're going to start to lose a lot of top end. But yeah, a little bit of resistance, a little bit of wind resistance, pop that on top and you can go nice and close, no problem whatsoever. So there we go. That is the box, or the unboxing. Now that's been thrown away, let's get into some sounds and some different bits and pieces. So I'm just going to set it up with my Mac, record into Logic. All the audio you've been hearing so far in this video will be through the camera that's above me, just on an iPhone. And then from now on, we'll try and get some nice quality audio from the microphone itself. I'm going to do a little bit of playing with some guitar, just to give you an idea of how that sounds, and just give you an idea of how it sounds as a vocal mic as well. So as you can see, the mic is mounted next to me on the arm. It's really convenient, pretty easy to move, pretty impressive. Just on the camera audio for the minute, just while I show you how to set up the mic and get it working with your system. And let's just see how easy it is. I've not done this yet, so it's all kind of fresh. As I showed you, it's all just straight unboxing. Never used it before. So start off, just head to settings, head to sound. Set your output to external headphones or another interface of some kind. I'm just keeping it simple here, so just go straight to the headphones. So it's just plugged into my headphone output on my MacBook Pro, and then going to input and changing this to USB PMP audio device. So it's USB plug and play audio device. As I bring it closer, you can see there it's maxing out the input. What I'm going to do now is just open up a Logic session, and then you'll be able to see how it performs and hear it properly. So to use this mic in Logic, what you want to do is open your new Logic project. Input, you want to change your input device to the USB PMP audio device. PMP standing for plug and play. And then output to external headphones. Then just apply. I will create the track and then I can hear myself. So this is the camera audio. And this is the audio from the microphone itself. There's a little bit of latency. It's not feeling quite direct because it's going through the microphone into the MacBook and then back through the external headphones output into my ears. And that just naturally gives a little bit of latency. Sound-wise, it sounds okay to me. It doesn't sound perfect. There's something a little bit edgy about the sound, a little bit grating on the top, and And like I was kind of suggesting earlier, because of the smaller capture, I think there's not so much of a bass response. Maybe if I just dive in a little bit here, you get a bit more of a bassy response. Just turn the gain down a little bit. So you're getting a bit of proximity effect there, using that to increase the amount of gain. But it's still, for me, I'd like it to be a little bit more full sounding, but I think it's doing a job. You can definitely hear the audio. I'm just going to pop a pop filter on it and then have a go and see how that sounds as well. So there we go, that's the mic with the pop filter on. I do think that actually benefits the sound a little bit, just turning it up a smidge. There we go, pop filter. It does a good job of covering those p. Yeah, it does a nice job of that. I'm now completely pretty much disappeared, but that doesn't matter because it's all about the sound in this test. So you can hear the microphone there. I think it benefits a lot from having that pop filter over the top of it. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you're new around here. So that's an idea of how this sounds. That's on the lowest I/O, so that's pretty much as low latency it will go. 3.4 milliseconds output isn't too bad. There is something a little bit off in general about the sound and how it sounds coming back through the headphones, but it's perfectly usable for the practice and the ideas that they're suggesting this is for, which is pretty much as a streaming mic. Online, on their website, they suggest it's a streaming mic. On Amazon things, they start talking about music production and using it for things like that. It's quite an edgy sound. There's a little bit of an edge to the top end of the sound, I think, which you'll probably be able to hear listening back on YouTube, which you might like or you might dislike. Personally, I think it brings out kind of some of the stringiness of my vocal cords, and I'm not a massive fan of that, but it's clear, it's defined, I can hear what's going on. And if you're streaming online on video games or whatever you want to do with it, just for a simple live stream, people are going to be able to hear you and clearly hear what you're saying, and that's probably the most important thing with a mic like this. So this is just how it kind of sounds with the double density dual layer pop filter at a pretty reasonable distance, and it's doing a decent job if you ask me. Next, I'm just going to grab my guitar and just show you how it performs with a little bit of guitar in front of it. So for the guitar, I'm just going to put it in a typical setup, so it will be just in front of the 12th fret, angled down towards kind of the same height as the guitar. So I'll just give you an idea of how that sounds now. So at this point, I'm just going to give you my conclusions on the video. I've switched to the foam cover, which will help give you an idea of how it sounds with the foam cover on. I think for most people, that's the way they're going to use it. I can see most people in most use cases having the foam cover. It makes it more compact and it makes it easy to bring down, put in front of you, and you can still communicate with your audience. If you're on a Zoom call or whatever, people can still make eye contact with you. I can look down the lens like I'm doing right now, and it makes that all a lot simpler. So what are my takeaways from this microphone using it in these different instances? Well, the first thing I'd say is that in terms of the frequency response and the way that it portrays the sound, it's quite mid-range heavy. As you can probably hear, it brings out a little bit of a stringy, buzzy quality in my vocal. It kind of gives the vocal cord sound. Not as much top, not very defined on the top, not particularly bright, and also not particularly bassy either. That's going to kind of limit its use for a lot of people, but I think for the majority of people who might want to buy this microphone, it probably makes it ideal. So my perspective is always going to be from the music perspective, recording, and I think this microphone doesn't really nail it from that perspective. The frequency is too specific in that it really pokes through the mid-range, doesn't capture the bottom end or the top end, and typically you're going to want to move to a microphone to catch the top or catch the bottom. Most mics will cover the mid-range in one way or another. So that makes it pretty limited for me. On guitar, I felt like it brought across the mid-range and upper mid-range of the guitar, but there wasn't any brilliance or sheen to it, and there also wasn't any particular bassiness to it. And so for that reason, I think as a music mic, if this was your one mic to get things done, you know, take it on your travels, plug it straight in, it's not going to be ideal. The fact that you have to run it through your DAW using headphones, you're going to get a bit of latency there, rather than being able to, like on the Fifine T669, plug straight in and hear what you're doing. That has a headphone jack built in, whereas this has got the separate USB element of it, and then you have to listen back however you choose to set it up in your computer. And that's just going to introduce latency and just makes it less than ideal for recording something, tracking things. You want a bit more immediacy. And so for all those reasons, I can't really recommend this as a music production microphone. Where I do think this microphone is quite strong is for most other use cases. So things like streaming, I think it really works for that, because that mid-range frequency pushes through. Anyone's going to be able to hear it. So even if you've got, say you're game streaming, you've got the noise from the game itself, but a lot of that's going to be low-end rumble and kind of bassiness and the brightness. So this is going to really cut across and make sure you're heard on, say, like a Twitch stream or something like that. The mid-range also just allows you to be cut through and be heard on any kind of speaker. So most speakers out there, be it laptops, phones, pretty much any speaker can deal with mid-range. And so the fact that this lives pretty much in the mid-range means you're going to be heard no matter what anyone's listening to or listening to you on. And that makes it pretty much ideal for those kind of situations, I'd say. But again, less so for music production. Perhaps the biggest selling point of this microphone is actually the physical aspects of it. The fact that it's a very small microphone, the fact that you get all these great accessories with it. This microphone arm is great. The little tripod is usable and gives you another option if you want to just pop it on the desk in front of you. The pop filter, as mentioned before, is really good. It's actually better than a lot of the pop filters you get. If you were to buy an individual pop filter from, say, a music company or whatever, the budget they probably spent on this is probably, you know, if you divided that £69 into all the accessories, they easily pretty much outweigh the price of the microphone if you were to go around Amazon and find accessories that are as good as the ones that you get with this mic. And then obviously you get the microphone as well. So really, if you want something that's compact, something that's quite simple to use, it plugs in, it'll be easily found by your Mac, it works with Windows as well. It's hard to go wrong if you need something simple. If you want the greatest sound quality in the world, you're not going to find it in this microphone. But you will find a good sound quality and a better sound quality than you're ever going to get on your laptop or with an inline mic like this on my headphones. So I would say if you're looking for a good value proposition for streaming and those kind of online uses, it's hard to go wrong with something like this for the price. It won't be the best sounding thing you've ever had. It won't give you a lovely colour to your voice, but it'll mean you're heard better, you'll come across well online. And really, that's the idea of a kit like this. It's all you can need for online streaming in one package. Just for me, it's probably not the right mic if you want to do any sort of music production with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this microphone. Do you think I was too harsh on it for music production? Do you see it having a use there? Or do you agree that it's pretty much just a streaming microphone? And let me know what kind of microphones you're using as well in the comments below. I'll leave a link to this microphone in the description so you can click to purchase there. I'll also leave a link to the K678 microphone, which I think is slightly better suited to music production, and you can click on that link and check that microphone out there as well as the review that I did of that microphone. Thank you to Fifine for sending me this microphone, and don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more from the channel. I'll see you in the next video.